Yesterday we talked about the perfect side one. Today I want the other half, because sometimes side one introduces the album, and side two is where the record really cashes the check. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Dave's Side One. I'm Dave, your host, over here at Art of Listening Records, where every record has a story, and sometimes the best part of the story starts after you flip it. Yesterday, we looked at side one as an invitation. Today, we're looking at side two as a payoff. And Queen's album, Night at the Opera, gives us one of the most interesting examples I can think of. Side two isn't just the second half of the track list. It begins after a pause. You physically interrupt the experience. You lift the record, you flip it, and you start again. That means side two gets something side one doesn't. Context. We already know the album. We've already heard what side one wanted to establish. Now, side two gets to respond. And Queen does not open quietly. The Prophet's song is big, ambitious, and dramatic. It immediately tells us side two is not going to feel like leftover material. That matters. A weak side two can feel like the album simply kept going. A strong side two feels like the second act has begun. The next job is escalation. Not necessarily louder, not necessarily faster, bigger in purpose. Side two needs to feel like the album is moving towards something. That doesn't mean repeating what worked on side one. In fact, the best second sides often widen the album. Love of My Life changes the emotional temperature completely, and that contrast matters. If every song on side two tried to be enormous, nothing would feel enormous. A quieter track can actually increase the scale of what comes next. That's one of the hidden jobs of sequencing. Contrast creates perspective. Then Good Company shifts the texture again. Different feel, different arrangement, different personality. That means by the time we reach the next major moment, our ears have been reset. We're ready for something else. And then, Bohemian Rhapsody. Think about the placement. Queen could have opened the album with it. They could have opened side two with it. They didn't. It arrives near the end. And because of everything around it, it feels less like another track and more like something the album has been approaching. That's one of the great powers of side two. The record has already earned our attention. Now it can deliver something bigger. But even after a moment that large, the album still needs to end. God Save the Queen functions like a curtain call. Short, ceremonial, final. It doesn't compete with what came before. It tells us that's it. And that's a different job from simply being the last track. So here's today's side one test, or side two test, if you will. Does side two feel like a new act? Does the album move somewhere new? Is there a moment that feels earned? Does the ending feel final? That's the side two test. And if I say side two is better, that doesn't mean side one failed. Quite the opposite. A payoff only works because something came before it. Side one creates expectation. Side two gets to use it. So the best second side may actually depend on a very good first side. So here's my verdict. When I say side two of A Night at the Opera feels like the payoff, I'm not dismissing side one. I'm saying the album keeps raising its hand, keeps widening, keeps building, and eventually it does cash that check. So on today's Side One Spin, I ask you, what album has a side two that you think is better than side one? And tell me why. Is it better songs, better sequencing, bigger payoff, a better ending? Come back and tell me the artist and tell me the album and make your case for side 2. Tomorrow, we stop thinking about individual songs entirely because one album side can become a single long journey. Well, that's it for today's side 1. Thanks again for spending a little time with me. And please keep that needle in the groove and don't forget side 2. We will talk to you tomorrow.